Night Rodriguez, Amy Engel.
Yeah, Simpson, Bob Loverson.
We have no public comment. We're gonna go ahead and pass it on to Mr. Simpson.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. We are excited to continue with our school group presentations. And first up, I'd like to welcome the Early Childhood Center and their administrative team to present their school improvement plan.
Good afternoon, towering evening curriculum board members, Superintendent Halverson, other guests and community members. I'm Susan Roscoe, principal of the Early Childhood Center. I'm also the luckiest principal in the world because I get to work with 260 of our youngest learners in the district. And with me this evening is the luckiest assistant principal in the world, Jody Baptiste. We're very we are going to share our school improvement plan with you, and we are very excited to do so. All right. Continue to the next slide. The list of our school leadership team, including myself and Jody. We have a cross-section of professionals that join us from the programs that we have in our building. We have half-day preschool and full-day preschool, the land of the 3 to 5 year olds. Looking at our current reality, Miss Jody will be presenting.
Next slide, please. Thank you. Our principal assessment is the desired result developmental profile, or the DRDP. This assessment measures student growth of 33 measures across 8 domains and aligns to the kindergarten individual developmental survey or KIDS assessment that students complete in the beginning of their kindergarten year. Appropriate developmental levels for preschoolers heading to kindergarten are displayed building middle, building later, or integrating on our continuum. Currently, for our numeracy goal, which is number, sense, and quantity, 72% of our students meet or exceed kindergarten readiness levels. In language and literacy, our SIP goal is developing phonological awareness. In this measure, 65% of our students meet or exceed our target levels. Among our subgroups, PS3 represents our 3-year-old preschool students, most of which who are in our half-day classrooms. As you can see, these tiny tomcats show less growth in both numeracy and literacy. Something to note, however, in that appropriate developmental DRDP level for a 3 and 4-year-old is exploring later to building earlier. So they're not quite there yet, and we don't expect them to be. So that kind of doesn't show all the way in our data. Based on this information, 82.7% of our 3-year-olds met or exceeded the expected developmental levels in numeracy, all the way across, and 87% met or exceeded the expected developmental levels in literacy. These students will have another year in preschool to grow even more. For our 4 and 5-year-old students, 78% of each student met or exceeded the DRDP kindergarten readiness target for math, and 69% met or exceeded the kindergarten readiness for literacy. We are very proud of our tiny tomcats and the growth they're making through their play-based learning. You can see some of the activities that they are doing there. So every one of those is learning no matter what. Next slide, thank you. As you can see from the other photos on this slide, the Early Childhood Center is the place to be, to have fun and learn at the same time. Our current reality for creating a culture of belonging in our school includes our attendance goals and our goals for behavior expectations. We strive to meet the district attendance goal of 95%. Our current reality for average daily attendance is 87.8%. Although preschool is not compulsory, sorry, the word catches me every time. Although preschool is not compulsory, we do work with families to teach the importance of daily attendance from the start and its impact on student achievement. The Early Childhood Center aims for a 95 or above attendance rate every year. We use a 3-tiered approach, which includes daily attendance tracking, family outreach starting on the first day of absence, and positive celebrations like perfect attendance awards and classroom parties. A more personalized approach includes calls from the office to identify barriers and collaborate on solutions, letters sent home, and family support specialist or parent liaison involvement when ongoing attendance patterns are noticed. Additional intensive interventions include in-person family meetings, home visits, and a formal success plan, and ultimately a 6-week drop protocol if the family remains unreachable. Unlike other grade levels, our grant requires us to attempt to contact families for 6 continuous weeks before the students are dropped from our program. So ideally, while we support the spirit of meeting the 95% goal, our students must miss 30 days before they can even consider being dropped. So that greatly impacts our student attendance rates because of that. So if they are here 29, if they're absent 29 days and come back for 1 day, that clock starts all over again. So that's part of our grant requirement. Our current reality for behavior expectations using the pyramid model observation tool, or the TPOT, for our preschool classrooms measures how well teachers are implementing the 3-tier pyramid model for promoting social emotional competence in infants and young children. It helps identify teacher strengths and areas where additional support or professional development may be needed, and includes a 2-hour classroom observation followed by a brief interview of the teacher. The results can be used to reinforce interaction that promotes social emotional competence, implement strategies to prevent and address challenging behaviors, and guide training and coaching of our teachers. Implementation from fall of 2024 to fall of 2025 showed a growth of 7%, indicating an increase in teacher competency in the measures. From fall to spring last year, the Early Childhood Center showed a growth of 10% over the school year. Similar growth is expected over the 2025-2026 school year. Maintaining an average of 80% or higher indicates that the key practices of the pyramid model are in place and teachers are implementing the model with high fidelity.
We're looking at focus on literacy. Our school pledges an increase of 6% in the number of students meeting or exceeding those age level expectations. In our LLB technological literacy area, from spring of last year to spring of this year. The tests are currently, or evaluations are currently underway, but we have not received our scores yet, so we're really looking forward to seeing how those turn out. Sorry. The literacy measure that we're measuring LLD 8 focuses on phonological awareness. It reflects children showing increasing awareness of sounds and the elements that make up language, including the ability to manipulate those. To support the goal, we focused our priority teaching practices on strengthening the capacity of our staff to provide more differentiation to their questioning strategies to increase student engagement and curiosity. The more language our staff uses and models for our youngest learners, the greater their ability to develop. Our key actions began with collecting baseline data to determine strengths and areas of growth, and using the data to build staff understanding of additional scaffolded questioning and student engagement strategies as key instructional priorities. We started a book study with them. It's a NACEABLE, the National Association for the Education of Young Children. It's called Big Questions for Young Minds. It's studying children's thinking. Thank you, Vanna. Group settings. During our building-led SIP days, which we enjoyed very much, PLCs, staff reflected, they shared strategies, and set short-term goals and monitored the progress as they develop their questioning strategies. The next slide, focus on numeracy, is very similar to pledging a 6% increase in the number of students meeting that expected age level performance for POG 3, which is the cornerstone of the number sense and quantity. It reflects children showing increasing awareness and identification of numbers and quantities. To support this goal, we again focused our priority teaching on strengthening the area of differentiated questioning to increase student engagement and curiosity. Again, the more language students know at that age, the more they can express themselves and explain their thinking in early mathematical concepts. Our key actions again began with determining where our strengths and areas of growth were, and using the data to help the staff build their understanding of where they could grow in their questioning and student engagement strategies. We continued our book study with the same book and looked at math, whole and small groups and ideas for engaging students in that way. We also used, again, our SIP days that we had to set those short-term goals, do some reflection, and collaborate on how we could better move our students' growth. For our focus on a culture of belonging, we also pledged a 6% increase in our overall TPOT scores from last spring to this spring. We identified our priority teaching practices, strengthening the capacity of our staff to promote meaningful peer interactions and use something called positive descriptive feedback. So this leads to deepening engagement, social development, and a culture for belonging for our kids wrapped around our expectations. Our key actions included our team analyzing the teapot data from the year before, to determine strengths and areas of growth in the 14 key practice subscales. So we then use the data to target staff understanding of positive descriptive feedback was identified as an area for growth, and staff questioning as our key instructional priorities. We created again and delivered targeted professional development during our faculty meetings, and we're able to use resources from the National Center for Peer Model Innovations that are research-based. And we used also our updated behavior response practices to let everyone know our expectations. We're looking forward to our spring results coming out shortly to see how we did from last spring to this spring, and feel that we're on track to meet our goals that we set at the beginning of the year. We have some very productive SIP days with the staff working together and ongoing conversations in PLCs that we continue. So hopefully our outcomes will be exactly where we want them to be. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Do you have any questions for us about Tiny Tomcat Land?
Just real quick, what curriculum, do you guys use? Do you guys use a specific curriculum or?
This year, we are rolling out our first year of the creative curriculum, which is very widely used by many preschool programs. And so our teachers are getting a sense of, we moved from units of study that were about 4 weeks to now 6 weeks or sometimes longer, depending on the interest of the students. And so they're just getting a feel for all of those this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, I'd like to welcome the principal of the Gonzalez Child Center to their school improvement plan.
Good evening. I'm Stephanie Steinbrecher, the principal of Mary's Jaybird Gonzalez Child Center. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge our Jaybird team in the audience this evening, as I'm really proud to be here tonight to share the work our team has done this year, where we started, what we focused on, and the progress we're seeing. I'd like to take a moment to recognize our Jaybird team in the audience. Thank you. Everything we've done this year goes back to our mission: building foundations, empowering minds, and soaring together. Our school leadership team is an incredible team of leaders that includes both certified and classified staff who have really owned this work alongside our students this year. Our SIP plan wasn't just a document that we created and moved on from. Teams have been setting SMART goals tied to our priority practices, checking in on them weekly during high functioning PLCs, and adjusting as needed. Our new SIP plan and SIP planning process has really structured our work and netted impressive gains. Next slide, please. This slide shows our current academic data. You'll notice some areas marked NR. That just means not reported because we have fewer than 20 students in those subgroups. Even though it's not publicly reported, we're still tracking all of that internally and using it to guide instruction. In literacy and math, while overall proficiency levels remain an area of need, what is most important is the systems that we have built this year to drive improvement. We have established clear expectations for small group instruction, invested in targeted professional development and peer collaboration, strengthened our use of data to group students and respond to their needs, implemented 45-day cycles for monitoring progress and adjusting instruction. Our teachers at GCC are collaborating, analyzing data, and responding to students in real time. This is a significant success and a positive shift in practice. In early childhood, we have continued to build strong foundations in phonological awareness and early math skills, ensuring our youngest learners are developing the critical building blocks for future success. Overall, I'd say that this slide keeps us grounded. We are very proud of our growth, but know that we still have work to do, especially when it comes to grade level attainment in literacy and math. Next slide, please. Looking at some of our broader data, our attendance is at 91.9%, with chronic absenteeism at 30%. While this shows some stability, it is also a clear opportunity. We know that students must be present to benefit from the strong instruction that we are building. This year, we have increased family communication and outreach. One example of this is that we have moved this year to a virtual coffee with the principal and saw a substantial increase in attendance from our families. During these meetings, we intentionally address attendance and our priority teaching practices. We have begun more intentional problem solving around barriers to attendance and strengthened partnerships with families to support consistent attendance. This remains an important area of focus as we move forward. One of our most meaningful areas of growth this year has been in our school culture and sense of belonging. We made a clear commitment to establish consistent routines and procedures across all classrooms, build teacher capacity in behavior expectations, and create predictable, safe, and supportive learning environments. And we are seeing the impact. While we still have work to do, our data shows improved consistency in classroom structures, stronger alignment across staff, a continued reduction in behavioral disruptions compared to previous years. We also saw some clear areas for growth. One was family involvement, and we made a more intentional push there. The other was around consistency, specifically small group instruction and classroom routines. We knew we needed to get tighter and more aligned across classrooms. Our staff is working together, supporting one another, and committed to continuous improvement. Next slide, please. Our literacy goal was 6% growth in students meeting or exceeding grade level expectations by spring. By winter map, we had already hit that target, moving from 8% to 14%, which we're really proud of, but that didn't happen by chance. A big part of it was getting more consistent with small group instruction. We also did multiple rounds of peer observations that included both certified and classified staff. That came directly out of our 5 essentials data, and honestly, it made a difference. Classrooms are more aligned and instruction is more targeted. These weren't long or complicated, they were focused, practical, and tied directly to what we said mattered: small group instruction and routines. I think what I'm most proud of here is the level of openness from our staff. People were willing to open their classrooms, learn from each other, and make adjustments. And that's not always easy, but our team really leaned into it. Next slide, please. Math followed a similar pattern. We set a goal of 6% growth, and by winter, we went from 15% to 35% of students meeting benchmark. So that's about a 20% increase. Again, it's tied to the same work: stronger small group instruction, clear routines, and regular progress monitoring. We didn't add a lot of new things at GCC this year. We did a few things intentionally, deeply, and we studied our results, setting goals, having conversations of practice, and celebrating our successes. We just got better at the core, and it's starting to show up in our data. We built systems for sustainable improvement. Across literacy, numeracy, and culture, we followed a consistent improvement cycle of setting a clear vision, building staff capacity, using data intentionally, monitoring progress through short cycles, adjusting practices based on evidence. This level of coherence across our building is a major accomplishment. It ensures that our work is not initiative-based, but instead systems-driven and sustainable over time. Next slide, please. In preschool, a lot of our focus has been around TPOT implementation and really strengthening how behavior expectations are taught and supported. We've been more intentional about making those expectations clear and consistent, and that's been supported through pre-K monitoring and coaching. The picture on this slide is one of my favorites. It's a parent reading a book about behavior expectations to our students. It's a simple moment, but it captures a lot of what we're working towards: connection, consistency, and making sure kids understand what it looks like to be part of a classroom community. We knew from our 5 essentials data that we needed to do more around family involvement, and I'm very proud of the steps that we took this year. We started a mystery reader program, hosted a trunk or treat for our community, and held a literacy day on Aries Gonzalez's birthday. All of those events were really well attended, and it was great to see families in the building engaged with their kids and with us. This is something we'll definitely keep building on. As we move forward, we're focused on a few key things: continuing to push towards grade level attainment, getting even more precise with small group instruction, keeping routines consistent across classrooms, and improving attendance. We've built a stronger foundation this year. Now it's about continuing that work and making sure it translates into even better outcomes for our students. In closing, I'll close by saying I'm really proud of our students and our staff. This work isn't easy and it takes consistency over time, but we're in a much stronger place than we were a year ago, and we're moving in the right direction. Thank you for your time and support. I'm happy to take any questions.
Just have one real quick one. I know I heard it, I saw the slide of with the pre-K. Can you tell me a little bit more about the TPOT scores? What does that mean?
Sure. So with the TPOT is a monitoring that is done several times a year. And your goal is to have above an 80% implementation. So basically it measures different measures in order to determine your percentage of implementation, and you want to be above an 80%. Our focus was around behavior expectations for this year. And so you'll see from our data, we're on the right track. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up will be the Benavides team with their school improvement plan presentation.
She asked me a question.
Good evening, Dr. Halverson, Dr. Engel, Mr. Simpson, and members of the curriculum board, Mr. Olivas, Ms. Valencia, and Ms. Reyes. My name is Patricia Rangel, and with me is Alexa Garcia, our assistant principal. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you some of the exciting work that we have been doing at Benavides. Before we begin, I'd like to share an overview of our demographics. Benavides currently serves approximately 330 students in grades K through 2nd. At Benavides, we offer an experience that blends STEAM with dual language programming, giving our youngest learners the beginning tools they need to become bilingual, biliterate, and bicultural, while also building strong academic foundations in critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration. Our school improvement team is represented by members from every facet of our building. That includes members from different grade levels, different language dominance, encore, student services. This is great because we're able to have a diverse perspective and a collaborative input in our decision-making process. Part of our mission is to promote lifelong learning. As you can see on the bottom right-hand side, as you enter our building, we have class photos with all of our little learners with their graduation year, and then some of the potential STEAM careers that they'll enter in their future. This next slide provides an overview of our current reality in both achievement and growth as it relates to reading and math as measured by NWA, in particular the winter administration of it. As a building, each of our grade levels utilize our NWA daily warm-ups to expose students to a variety of skills based on the learning continuum. 84% of our students met the grade level achievement expectation in math during this winter administration. 63% of our English dominant students and 50% of our Spanish dominant students met the expectation in reading. We would like to celebrate that 75% of our students met their reading growth goal from fall to winter, and 86% of our students met their math growth goal from fall to winter. As of today, our average daily attendance rate is 94.5%, which has us on pace with meeting our goal of 95% for the end of the year. Our chronic truancy rate is at 13%, which is a little bit lower than it was last year. We continue to work very closely in the office and in classrooms to promote positive attendance trends. We currently have 0 behavior referrals, and this is because we continue to focus on developing the whole child. And this is done in a variety of ways. We use a customized SEL pacing guide to meet the needs of our students at each of their grade levels. We know that students come with a wide variety of social emotional needs. So we've made a variety of tools available to both students and staff. We have a library of bilingual resources for teachers and students. We have building-wide calm down bins. And then we have lots of family engagement opportunities, which are highlighted in some of the photos there. We also have implemented tailor-made goal tracking tools for some of our students who need things broken down into smaller steps so that they can have success as well. Our literacy focus for this year consists of 3 goals that address the NWA reading growth, our intervention progress, and our support for students identified within the CWD subgroup. 75% of our students met their NWA reading growth goal. 80% of the students receiving reading intervention grew 2 reading levels as measured by FNP. And 57% of our students with disabilities met their reading growth goal. As a building, we conducted a soft rollout of HMH curriculum with an emphasis on the reading and vocabulary components of the curriculum. We asked staff to rely on their existing instructional toolbox for the components of foundational skills and writing and grammar so that our building could focus on reading and vocab instruction. Our grade level PLCs also agreed to incorporate the HMH Know It, Show It component into our bi-weekly common formative assessments because those are available in Spanish and English. In addition, we achieved full staff support during our on-site HMH coaching with our representatives. All right, on to math. So similar breakdown of goals as we did with literacy. We have a goal that addresses the NWEA math growth, intervention progress, and then a goal for our CWD subgroup as well. These goals are centered around accelerating student growth, strengthening our targeted interventions, and ensuring that all students make progress. Some of the things that we're doing that are working really well is we provide differentiated math instruction. We have 2 groups of math based on students' RIT scores, formative assessments, and then the pacing guide within iReady. And these groups are fluid. They are our mixed language groups, but we move students based on their needs so that we're able to continue to accelerate those who are ready and provide a little bit of extra support for those who may need them. Our results, 86% of our students met their math growth goal. 65% of students in math intervention met their goal. And then 62% of our kiddos with IEPs met their math growth goals. Our culture for belonging focuses on student attendance and ensuring that teachers know our why. Our why being the unique strengths, needs, and experiences of our school community. If you look at our last picture here, this is a board that's in our faculty lounge that's updated regularly. So this work is organized around 3 key areas: parents, students, and staff. They all make up our why. The student component is further broken down into subcategories that include demographics, a list of the numbers of students that are receiving services, assessment data, behavior data, students participating in extracurricular activities, and so on. By organizing our work in this way, we build a stronger sense of belonging while deepening staff's understanding of the various factors that impact student engagement, attendance, and success. Thank you. Do you have any questions for us? Thank you.
Thank you. The next item up is a memo from our athletic department. So currently, we do not have a dedicated team physician that is providing on-site medical support at East Aurora High School. To address this gap, the athletic department is recommending the appointment of Dr. Joseph Krisman from Denver Health as the official team physician for East Aurora High School. This recommendation does align with best practices with our athletic program by ensuring proper medical oversight, timely injury responses, and the support during high-risk events. This appointment formalizes our commitment to professional medical standards during high-risk athletic events. Dr. Krisman will provide significant relief to families by offering bi-weekly or even as needed injury screenings directly at East Aurora High School. This localized care reduces the need for our parents to secure outside appointments and transportation for the initial assessment. Dr. Chrisman and his team are also able to secure additional outside appointments as necessary, which is faster than going through the normal referral process. He will provide on-site presence by being on-site at all sidelines for all of our football games, which are those high-risk events, as well as other athletic contests as his schedule permits. From an injury management standpoint, he will provide regular bi-weekly screenings to facilitate early intervention and a faster return to play timeline. And then also preventative care by proposing for us physical days over the summer, which will ensure students are medically cleared before the start of a competitive season. There is no financial impact to the district on this recommendation. And then from a family perspective, anything that is done at the high school has no cost to the family. So that would be, for example, those initial screenings as well as those physicals. If anything does require further visits or testing, then that would need to go through their personal medical insurance, but it does provide increased access to our children and our families at East Aurora High School. So that's a memo, and it would go before and go for action at the next board. Any questions I can answer on that?
Do other high schools in the area have this kind of sort of thing?
Yeah,
In a district?
Yeah, they do. And this is definitely something that's really popped in the area and probably I'd say the last 6 to 8 years as we're seeing more increase in severe injuries in a lot of our athletes. Like I said, Dr. Prisman is associated with Endeavor Health, which is associated with ATI, which is our trainers that we have on site as well. Any other questions? Thank you.
Next up, we're excited to talk about our middle school Spanish language arts program, combined with some world language items that we're piloting for next year. Dr. Guzman was going to be here to share this evening, but she was unable to join us. So today we've invited other members of our curriculum instruction and assessment team to give us an update. Marisol Flores and Ann Castellanos are two of our strong coordinators here to share a little bit more about our pilot.
Good evening, Board of Education and Dr. Halverson. Thank you, Dr. Engel. My name is Marisol Flores, and I am the Language Acquisition Secondary Coordinator.
My name is Ann Castellanos, and I am the Language Acquisition World Language Coordinator. We are very excited to present our Spanish language arts and world language pilot middle school.
Our current dual language pipeline will have our 5th graders who, the majority of, are coming from our English-Spanish dual language programming. They will have the opportunity to take this course to continue their biliteracy in middle school. In addition, students who are eligible for full-time TBE services at the middle school level will be serviced through this model.
This course will increase Spanish proficiency because the course combines world language standards and Spanish language arts standards, meaning that students get grammar, culture, and the 4 domains of reading, writing, listening, and speaking that are the key components of world language, plus the language arts skills, which are the 7 components of literacy as defined by ISB: oracy, phonological awareness, word recognition, fluency, vocabulary, comprehension, and writing. Ultimately, this will lead students to achieving the seal of biliteracy, preparing them for high school courses with the same level of rigor. Next slide, please. When looking at various resources, we compared them through the use of a curriculum evaluation rubric. This rubric aligned to Illinois Curriculum Evaluation Tool from ISB, the Literacy Curriculum Evaluation Rubric. We were looking to find a resource that is aligned to the Illinois Spanish Language Arts Standards and the World Language Standards, which are by ACTFL, the American Council on the Teaching of Foreign Languages, which emphasize the 5 C's of world language learning: communication, culture, connections, comparisons, and communities. When identifying the best resource, we evaluated each resource's use and assessment of the 4 domains of language and 7 components of literacy, the quantity and quality of differentiation to support diverse learners, and assessment opportunities. Finally, we reviewed the integrated and supplemental support options for administrators and staff before and during the implementation process.
Next slide, please. Some resources we looked into were excellent for a standalone world language course. The resources listed above did a great job of connecting to the ACTFL the American Council on the Teaching of Foreign Languages standards for world language, meaning they were excellent for world language. But the bridge to the Spanish language arts standards was not evident or was underdeveloped. As a result, these resources would not support teacher planning and student learning of both Spanish language arts and world language standards without rigorous modifications.
We saw, oh, I'm sorry, next slide, please. We saw similar struggles when looking at products that are marketed as Spanish language arts resources. As you would assume, these resources had very clear and strong connections to the Spanish language arts standards, meaning they were excellent as standalone Spanish language arts resources, but many did not concretely connect with the world language standards. There was one, however, that had alignment to both sets of standards. Based on these criteria, Anécdotas from One Way Education is recommended for purchase as the resource for our new middle school Spanish language arts course.
Next slide, please. Thank you. After carefully reviewing multiple Spanish language arts and world language programs and engaging in conversations with districts across Illinois, we identified this resource as the strongest alignment to both world language standards and the Illinois Spanish language arts standards. With Anécdotas from One Way Education, we observed strong alignment to Common Core, Spanish language arts, and world language standards. Robust language and literacy development, including icons supporting 4 domains and 7 literacy components, effective scaffolding and culturally responsive differentiation, student-friendly materials and assessments. It included project-based learning opportunities and provided extensive professional development and teacher support, including daily access to tech experts, how-to videos, and implementation in other districts.
Next slide, please. These materials, the teacher edition, student consumable, and digital licenses, as well as professional development, are what would be projected for the pilot. Our current world language, Spanish language arts, bilingual, and English language arts teachers have been provided physical copies of the materials as well as online access, allowing them time to thoroughly explore the resources available. The teachers have provided their feedback that the resource is both teacher and student friendly. Teachers also feel that the resource includes both world language and Spanish language arts standards. Next slide, please. Thank you. Any questions for us?
I do. Based on this pilot, and I'm assuming the pilot is over, or are we just starting? Because my question is about these resources explored. Can you give me a little more detail on what that means by the resources explored? Who explored them? Who looked at them? Was it just teachers?
Just so you know, we are just starting the pilot for next school year. They actually did an analysis of those various resources. I'm gonna let them talk a little bit about what they analyzed.
Some of the resources have been both physical and online. So online, there's teacher editions, student consumables, as well as additional supplemental materials that teachers were able to look into and see whatever they believe would serve best their students at the 4 middle schools.
How many teachers were part of this process?
Currently we have about 7. It's a handful of our world language, bilingual, and ELA teachers coming together to evaluate best resource for our students.
And then we're looking to pilot this throughout the next school year.
Okay. Thank you.
Next up, we have Principal Jennifer Mitchell and Assistant Principal Jackie Stone here from East Aurora High School to share about our Welding 3 course proposal for the upcoming school year.
Good evening, Jennifer Mitchell, Principal of East Aurora High School. We are here to offer a proposal for a Welding 3 course. This will help better carve out our career pathway in welding.
We've had a strong welding program for the last several years, and this program is one of the Illinois Career Pathway endorsement programs. And we are always striving to strengthen the college and career readiness opportunities for all of our students. This course will be stacked alongside of our Welding 1 and or Welding 2 courses, so it will not require additional space or additional staffing. It will simply provide another welding experience for the students who have space in their schedule and interest in this area. The student that's pictured here is a perfect example of the students we are trying to serve at this course. He's an individual who was looking for additional practice outside of the classroom, and this class would have the opportunity to not only gain those additional skills, but also he would get additional credit. Next slide, please. And our newest welding instructor has been a great asset to the program because he has helped to reinforce the most current industry standard skills for our students. Some of the more specific skills are listed on this page. Some of the skills are taught prior to the classes and are practiced in level 3, and others are going to be new skills for the students. Students have the opportunity through the welding program to participate in welding fabrication challenges and also earn dual credit through Williams Community College. The student shown here is one of our female welding students showcasing her first weld, and she was really proud of her work. And we're excited to provide this course as an additional course in their program. So thank you very much. Any questions? Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
I do love to see those pictures of the kids in there and the great things they're doing. That's very fun. Next up, we have 3 disposal memos for us to look at today with action to come at our next board meeting. As you know, middle school completed their social studies pilot this year, and with the new textbook adoption of TCI for the upcoming 26-27 school year, we will be ready to dispose of the old materials, which will no longer be needed. We'll be disposing of the Sabas, My World, Mi Mundo materials at the end of the year. So that is the first one. The next disposal memo you have in there is related to elementary and middle school, where we use iReady Classroom Mathematics. iReady has a new version, which we'll be using in the 26-27 school year. And most of our materials are digital, but we do have some outstanding workbook items and things. With this change, old materials will no longer be needed, and then we seeking to dispose of any old items that we happen to have on site. And the third and final disposal memo is related to middle school English language arts. Similar to the mathematics, we use a platform called Sabas, My Perspective curriculum, and they also continue to update their editions. So we have transitioned to the updated 27 edition, and we'll be seeking to dispose any of our outdated materials at the end of the year related to that. Again, going for action at our May 4th meeting. And that brings us to our attendance and enrollment report. Current enrollment as of April 10th is 11,720 students. At this same time last year, we had 12,301 students enrolled. Attendance is currently at 90.02%. It has increased over the past few months, so we're starting to see that positive trend back up. In addition, registration is still progressing at a great rate. We have 84% of our families registered. We have about 95.5% of our preschool and elementary families registered, with 81% of them opting into our dual language program. We have 74.1% of our secondary families registered for those middle and high school programs, and 65.9% of those secondary students are our high school students that are registered. We did do an elementary push in February and March, which got our numbers so high in elementary registration. And now we're doing that same push for secondary registration. We're excited to have additional evening events planned at each of our middle schools and our high school, so we can continue to have that same great progress with registration. Our numbers right now are so high, even compared to where they would normally be at the end of May. So we're way, way far ahead of where we have been, which is so exciting. Both Paula Cardona and Yaslin Zaval have been super active in helping to support and maintain that registration. So our numbers are moving in the right direction. Those are our reports.
Thank you again for all that information, and I was looking at the attendance overall for our district, and I saw that it did go up. So I wanna thank all the staff for, advocating and making sure that our students are in school. We know the importance of that. We know that there has been a lot of things happening out in the community, but thank you again for all the support to all the families. And with that, our next curriculum meeting will be May 18 here at the Admin Center at 6 p.m. And we're adjourning at 6:46. Thank you.
Oh, no.